Arcadian Vanguard presents the Wrestling News and your daily wrestling newscast for Wednesday, December 20th, 2023. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with last night's taped edition of NXT broadcast on USA Network and featuring matches recorded December 13th at the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. In the main event, NXT champion Ilya Dragunov went to a no contest in a non-title match with Ridge Holland. In what appears to be an angle playing off Holland's real-life injuring of Big E last year, the match ended when Holland dropped Dragunov on his head, leading to the champion being put in a neck brace and stretchered out of the ring.
Jumping right into the fire, but like he said, he wanted to face the man who was the measuring stick, and it's Dragunov, who's showing you that will right now, that determination, that perseverance, which has made him the NXT champion, and just getting dropped, almost in a modified brainbuster by Ridge Holland, as Ridge Holland now, so much has been taken out of both these superstars in this main event matchup. Talk about heavy hitting. Holland going into the cover, realizing that this is his moment.
North American champion Dragon Lee retained his title in a triple threat match with Charlie Dempsey and Joe Coffey, pinning Dempsey. In Breakout tournament first-round matches, Lexis King defeated Dion Lennox, and Tavion Heights beat Luca Crisufino. In other results, Fallon Henley beat Tiffany Stratton, Nikita Lyons topped Tatum Paxley, Gallus defeated Hank Walker and Tank Ledger, and Izzy Dame and Kiana James went over Chase U. In AEW news, AEW World Champion MJF has denied the recent reports that he has quietly re-signed with the company. Speaking on the SI Media podcast, MJF stated that he has not yet signed a new AEW contract, adding the following.
January 1st, 2024. When stuff like that gets leaked out, it makes me laugh because I remember something got leaked out about Cody having secretly re-signed, and then he showed up. Something got leaked out about, CM Punk and Tony Khan are, actually fine. Everything, I think fans leak out things that they want to be true. I love AEW. I want to stay in AEW. After this pay-per-view, it's time to assess the situation from a professional setting. So
you have not re-signed?
Not yet.
MJF has previously stated that he would be open to a potential bidding war for his services once his current contract comes up next year. In WWE news, the company has opted to extend Charlotte Flair's contract, making it the first contract extension since the TKO merger, according to Fightful. The extension reportedly comes with a significant salary increase, making it one of the highest deals ever offered to a female talent. News of the contract extension comes right after news of Flair's knee surgery, which is likely to keep her away from the ring for 9 months. In ratings news, last Monday's episode of Raw brought in 1.662 million viewers, a 7% increase from last week's audience of 1.466 million, according to WrestleNomics. The rating in the key 18 to 49-year-old demographic was a .47, up slightly from the previous week's .46 rating. AEW Collision held steady with last Saturday's episode drawing 457,000 viewers to TNT, in line with the previous week's audience of 455,000, according to WrestleNomics. The rating in the key 18 to 49-year-old demographic was .15, also slightly up from the previous week's .14 rating. In injury news, Xavier Woods has been pulled off the road due to undisclosed injuries, according to a PW Insider report. Woods has recently been seen in Birmingham, Alabama, the site of Andrews Sports Medicine Center, where many wrestlers go for surgery and physical rehabilitation. The extent of his injuries is not known, nor is the length of time he might be off the road, although he has been pulled from advertisements for next week's post-Christmas live event tour. Woods last wrestled on the November 27th edition of Raw, teaming with Kofi Kingston, who has made several TV appearances without him since then. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.